CEO's paralyzed daughter lost all hope until a single dad whispered, "I'll help her." She stared at the ceiling every night, counting the cracks like they were the last things in the world she could control. Once, she had been the girl who ran across soccer fields and laughed too loud. Now, she couldn't feel her legs at all. And the silence in her hospital room felt heavier than any pain. Her father was one of the most powerful CEOs in the country, a man who could move markets with a single decision. But none of that mattered here. Because no amount of money, no title, no influence could fix what had been taken from his daughter. And she was slowly giving up. Before we begin, take a moment to support Kindness Story Hub. If stories like this move your heart, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us spread kindness, one story at a time. The CEO's name was Daniel Carter. In boardrooms, people feared him. In interviews, people admired him. But in the quiet hallways of St. Mary's Rehabilitation Center, he was just a father who sat in a chair too small for his frame, watching his 17-year-old daughter, Lily, fade a little more every day. 6 months earlier, Lily had been in the passenger seat of a car driven by her best friend. A truck ran a red light. The crash shattered more than metal. It shattered futures. Lily survived, but her spinal cord injury left her paralyzed from the waist down. Doctors were honest. Recovery would be long. Progress would be slow. There were no guarantees. At first, Lily fought. She went through physical therapy with clenched teeth and silent tears. She forced smiles for her dad. But weeks turned into months, and nothing changed. Her legs stayed still. Her hope didn't. Eventually, she stopped trying. She skipped therapy sessions. She barely spoke. She stopped looking out the window at the world moving without her. Daniel offered her the best doctors, the most advanced equipment, private rooms, and endless encouragement. None of it reached her. One afternoon, Daniel overheard Lily whisper to a nurse, "I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired." Those words broke him. That same day, in another part of the rehab center, a man named Marcus Reyes was struggling in a very different way. Marcus was a single dad in his mid-30s, raising an 8-year-old son named Noah. Marcus worked 2 jobs and still barely made rent. He had no fancy suit, no powerful connections, and no safety net. Marcus was at St. Mary's because Noah had a temporary injury from a playground fall. They shared a room with another patient to save money. Every evening, Marcus read to his son and told him stories about courage, even when he himself felt exhausted and unsure. One evening, Noah asked if he could walk down the hallway to get water. Marcus agreed and followed a few steps behind. That's when Noah stopped in front of Lily's open door. Inside, Lily sat in her wheelchair, staring at the floor. Her eyes were empty, and Noah tugged on his dad's hand and whispered, "Daddy, she looks sad." Marcus hesitated. He didn't want to intrude. But then Lily looked up, and their eyes met. For a brief second, something passed between them. Not pity. Just recognition. Marcus gently stepped into the doorway. "Hi," he said softly. "My name's Marcus. This is my son, Noah." Lily didn't respond. Marcus smiled anyway. "We're kind of new here. Hospitals aren't much fun, are they?" Still nothing. Daniel was standing down the hall, watching. He almost stepped in to stop the interaction, but something made him pause. Noah walked closer, holding a small plastic superhero figurine. He placed it on Lily's tray. "This is Max," he said. "He can't fly anymore, but he's still a hero." Lily blinked. Marcus crouched beside her. His voice was low and calm. "I don't know what you're going through," he said honestly. "But I know what it's like to feel stuck. To feel like life picked you up and dropped you somewhere you didn't ask to be." Lily swallowed hard. Marcus continued, "When my wife passed away, I thought I couldn't go on. I had days where I didn't want to get out of bed. But then this little guy," he nodded at Noah. "He needed me. So I kept going. Not because I was strong. But because love makes you do things you don't think you can." Lily's eyes filled with tears. Marcus leaned in just a little and whispered, "I'll help you. Not fix you. Not save you. Just help you. You don't have to do this alone." For the first time in months, Lily cried. Not quiet tears. Real ones. Daniel turned away, wiping his face. From that day on, Marcus and Noah stopped by Lily's room whenever they could. They didn't bring advice or false hope. They brought stories, jokes, and simple human connection. Marcus talked to Lily like she was still the same person, not a problem to be solved. Slowly, something shifted. Lily started attending therapy again. At first, just to get out of her room. Then to see Marcus afterward and tell him what she'd done that day. Even the smallest victories mattered. Sitting up longer. Transferring to her wheelchair with less help. Smiling without forcing it. Daniel watched it all in disbelief. He had spent millions trying to give his daughter everything. And yet, what reached her most was a man with nothing to offer but time and kindness. One evening, Daniel approached Marcus in the hallway. "I owe you a thank you," Daniel said. Marcus looked uncomfortable. "I didn't do anything special." "You did what I couldn't," Daniel replied. "You reminded her she's still human." Marcus shook his head. "She reminded me, too." Weeks later, Lily was discharged from the rehab center. She wasn't walking. But she was alive again. She laughed. She planned. She talked about college. About advocacy. About helping others who felt invisible. On her last day, Lily asked Marcus to come to her room. "I want you to have something," she said, handing him a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten note and a check. Marcus's hands trembled. The amount could change his life. "I can't take this," he said. Lily smiled. "You didn't help me for money. And this isn't payment. It's an opportunity." Daniel explained that the money was set aside for Noah's education and to help Marcus start a community program for families dealing with trauma. Marcus finally nodded, tears in his eyes. Years later, Lily would stand on a stage, speaking about resilience and compassion. Marcus would run a non-profit that helped hundreds of families. And Noah would still carry that little superhero in his backpack. None of it started with power or wealth. It started with a whisper, "I'll help you." And sometimes, that's all it takes to change a life. So if you ever wonder whether kindness still matters, remember this story. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be important. You just have to be willing to see someone and show up, because kindness, when it's real, can do what nothing else can. And maybe today, someone out there is waiting for you to whisper those same words.